Okay, cool. Like, how was it? Obviously seeing the pictures and then stepping on campus the first time.
It was unbelievable. I'll never forget it. Like the first time I saw the campus, I remember getting picked up from the airport by the head coach at the time, and we drove like through High Point, and High Point's not the nicest of areas. Like it's not got a lot going on. So I'm driving through thinking, have I made the right choice here? Like looking around High Point, and I'm like, I'm not sure about this. And then I saw the school. Like it would come over the top of the hill, and I saw the school, and I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
unbelievable. Like we driving through campus, and I was just blown away by how impressive it was. So yeah, that was the first time I saw the campus. But like, I guess just like a big culture shock as well. You know, like when you're driving on the other side of the road and stuff, and like you like I hadn't really been to America for up until that point. I went when I was young, but I
Yeah.
can't remember much of it. You know, so like when I first was in America, like it's so big, like everything. There's so much land everywhere. I was like, this is just so different to what it's like back home. So getting used to it was a little strange at first, but then after the first like month or so, settling in, I was fine after
Yeah. How did you find balancing classes and training?
Difficult at first, because it's I graduated high school at like 16 and never really looked at a book since, to be honest.
Yeah.
Um,
Tell me
you
about
know
it.
what I mean? I didn't really think I'd be going back to school. So starting back up with school again, and balancing that with training every day and obviously games and stuff, was difficult. But it's a really good thing, I think. Like it kind of teaches you to manage your time, and keep everything like on track. You know, you make sure you've got to like do your schoolwork, hand your assignments in on time, and getting the training on time and everything like that. So it kind of gives you a schedule, and it makes you kind of grow up, I guess. You know, it makes you start to look after things that you need to look after. And yeah, it was a little bit difficult at first, but then once I say like the first few months went by, it was all right.
Yeah. How was the football experience then?
I loved it, absolutely loved it. Like my first year, the lads on the team were absolutely class. Like
Yeah.
great group of lads. Looked after me really well. I felt welcomed like straight away. Like coming as a freshman, I didn't really know what to expect, but like everyone was great. Like great group of lads. So I really really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I didn't really get homesick at all. I thought I might. I was like, well, maybe I might get a bit homesick and want to come back, but because your schedule's so busy, you
You have
don't
no
have,
time.
you don't have time to think. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I loved it. Football was class. Like enjoyed training, um, and the games were good as well. We done all right my freshman year when I first got there, and I think a lot of it was just like because we were such a close group. You know, we were like a family, so we didn't have the best players technically. Like when I first got there, there's some good players, but I think we kind of grew as a program from that point on. Like we brought in some really quality players, um, like the year after and the following years. So yeah, football was really good. Competed in obviously the Big South. It was a decent conference. Some tough teams like Campbell. They were a tough side to play against. And Radford when we first joined, they were pretty tough to play against too. So it was definitely at a higher standard than I thought when I first went over. I
Yeah.
was like, I was a bit unsure when I first decided to go over. I was like, I don't even know what this is going to be like. Like that like Americans, you're thinking like looking at the national team, they're not the best, and you're looking at the MLS, and it's like it's getting there, but it's nothing compared to what it's like in England. So I was a bit unsure, but then I was like pleasantly surprised the first few games. I was like, oh, okay, like this is no joke.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it was good.
But that's the thing, because I was like the same. I was thinking, okay, cool, like it's gonna be not the same I'm used to. But the funny thing is that there's a lot of other kids from around the world who maybe are academies
Mm-hmm.
in different countries that are coming there as well. So like it's other players in the same boat.
Yeah, yeah. We had probably more international players on our team than we did Americans. So
Yeah.
we played with a lot of different. I played like lads from like Iceland and all over the place. Like there's a few other English lads that came in. We had some talented players. So yeah, like I say, I was like pleasantly surprised by that. Um, and then I guess the goal was always to push on and win the conference, and then try and get to the NCAA tournament, because the school hadn't got to the tournament before.
Oh,
So that was when I first came in. That was like someone that like everybody was telling me about. Like, you have to make the tournament when you're here. Like, you've got to
yeah,
make sure that it happens. And I felt that pressure, so I was like, yeah, we've got to do this. So, like, thankfully we did.
yeah.
My junior year, we made the NCAA tournament. Hold on, was junior year or senior year? Let me think.
I think.
Senior year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
senior. You guys had a
yeah.
really good year. I think I
Because
remember.
that's what it was. Because junior year we won the
The
conference, but
conference.
we lost in the tournament, the conference tournament, so we didn't make the NCAA. But my senior year, we won the regular conference. We lost in the tournament again, but because we had such a good regular season, we got a bid. So that was nice feeling, like my senior year, to finally do it. Saying that, like, we done so well to get there, and then first game we got beat 3-0 at home. So it was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, we worked so hard to get there, and then we end up getting beat. But
True.
we definitely, I felt like we like pushed the program to like a new level. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
it was kind of there or thereabouts beforehand. Had a few good years, but didn't really push on. But now it's kind of going from strength to strength. So that's
Yeah.
nice to see.
For the people that probably don't know about regular season and conference, that
Mm.
explain a little bit like how it works.
Yeah. So yeah, like regular season, you're just playing against like teams that are in your conference. So there's about like 10 teams in your conference.
No.
And it's like normally it's like regional. So you're playing teams that are like in either the same state or like a few states away. So the travel isn't too much.
Too much.
Yeah, so that's a regular season. So it's kind of just like a league format. And then if you win the regular season, you get a trophy. But that doesn't mean that you make the NCAA tournament. So that's kind of weird. I had to get used to that. You know, like you win the league, and you're like, yes, we've done it. And then it's like, nah, that's not what's important in America. In America, it's the tournament. So
Yeah.
like you have to win the conference tournament. So it's like, obviously, if you qualify for the tournament, you've got to play through that. And then if you win the tournament, that's when you make the NCAA tournament. It's pretty confusing, but like that's the setup. That's the setup there. So that took a bit. It took a while to get used to. Like, you know, you're pushing, and you like throughout the season, you're like beating everybody, and you're like doing really well in the league, and then like you win a tournament, and it's like, so you win the league, and it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
that's like the regular season, and obviously the NCAA is what everybody knows. Like NCAA tournaments, when the really good teams start to come into play. And there's some really tough matches. So yeah, like they say, like the first time we went at the NCAA tournament, we got beat straight away like 3-0. It was like against James Madison, who were a good team.
Yeah.
I think it made the final four that year, I think. So yeah, that was a tough game.
Yeah. How good were they? Because I remember that year they were proper good that year. They knocked
Yeah,
out like a few good teams.
yeah, they were really good. They had some lads up top. They had a number 10 that was really good as well. They had a few guys get drafted, I think.
Oh shit.
Um, yeah, so they were good. Just really well organized, and I think like in college, it's a completely different style of football. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just like you're organized, and you're like can press like crazy, and you fit. You can like be successful because there's like obviously as many subs as you want. So like you get like players that just like run until they can't anymore for like 25 minutes, and then it's like, right, you're done, next guy's on. So as a
Yeah.
defender, it's like, you know what I mean? There's just like fresh players coming on against you all the time. So that was a little strange. But yeah, they were a good side. So yeah, it was weird kind of getting used to that style of football. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I was lucky enough that I played like pretty much every minute when I was there. Being a defender, you don't really change the back line much.
No.
Some lads found it difficult because, say, as a centre midfielder, you have like 25, 30 minutes, and you're just starting to get into the flow of the game, and you're getting a rhythm. And then your coach goes, "Yep, you're getting pulled off." So it's like you can't really get used to it.
Yeah.
But that's the way they do it in America, I guess.
Nice, mad.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, it was so hard to get used to, and the weirdest thing for me, was the golden goal, bro. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
days.
yeah. I know.
Oh
That's
my
strange.
days.
Yeah,
I,
it was
I
weird,
remember
man.
I remember my first game we played against Virginia Tech, and literally it went 90 minutes. It was like no, and I was thinking, okay, cool. Like And at the time, they were talking about, oh yeah, you need. What's them points called? Is it P?
Really.
You know, like you can. You know how you guys in your senior year, like your record was good enough.
Oh,
RPI,
I think
RPI.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah. So they were like, oh yeah, because you played Virginia Tech and you drew against them, like that'd be good RPI points or something like that.
yeah, like
I was
strength of
thinking
schedule, that kind of thing.
it was so confusing. Like I think I didn't get it fully until my senior year.
Yeah, I'm probably the same. I didn't really truly understand what it was all about and how we could be successful until senior year. I was just saying about strength of schedule, like that's so big, like it's so important. Like even if you play against like a big program and they're not that good that year and you beat them, it's like it doesn't matter just because they've been good previously. Like that shows good on your record. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mad one, but it was so like when did you start thinking that I could actually go professional whilst you were at High Point?
Um, I guess I always like believed I was good enough to play in the US.
Yeah,
I knew I could play pro, yeah. So going in as a freshman, I was like, that was my goal. That was always my goal. I was like, I want to get an education because I realized how important it was to get a good education to like fall back on in case nothing happened with my football. I guess I learned from the first time it happened to me after getting
yeah,
released from Wednesday. I was like, oh, this is, I need an education. I need something to fall back on.
yeah,
So, yeah, I was always thinking I was going to play pro. And I guess it really like I stepped it up my like junior year. I think I started to like really push on then and get like constant performances, some consistency, and I kind of had a feeling that I was gonna get some offers um, at the end of college. But it was weird though because it was always like in my mind that no matter how well I play, if the team doesn't do well, you got no chance. You know what I mean?
yeah, man. I hated that feeling.
Yeah, it was tough because you're like, I'm doing really well. Like we're barely conceding any goals. I'm like playing really well, and then like if you're not on a big conference or if you're not like really known, it's just like yeah, you're not really going to get options after college. Well, that's with the MLS draft anyway.
Yeah,
I felt like after my senior year, I'd done enough to be in with a shout, um, along with a few other lads on my team. We had like some good players, but it just like we were like available for selection, but like not even considered.
it's
So that
mad.
was a bit weird to see that. But I always thought that there will be some options coming up with the USL, and so I went on trial at a few different clubs. And San Antonio was the one that I was like, yeah, I feel like I can push on at San Antonio because the facilities are really sound, like really good facilities for USL and
Yeah.
English coach and stuff. You know what I mean? So I was like kind of sold by that. So I made my decision. So yeah, I guess I always thought as a freshman in college I could do it.
Yeah, no. Let's talk wheel it back a little. Uh what was I gonna say, bro? How can I forget? What was I gonna yeah, yeah. So did you ever like think that whilst you were at college and you're talking about how like your team had to do well in order for you to like be seen, did you ever think like you had to transfer into a better conference or a better team?
Yeah, yeah, I'd be lying if I said it like it didn't cross my mind. I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Probably at like the end of my freshman year, I was like, maybe I do need to move on in order to make it pro in the US. But I felt like guilty, I guess, because High Point, what I was talking about before, High Point had really put the neck on the line and were like recruiting me really hard. So I was like, kind of like just leave them, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And just
yeah,
move
yeah.
on after all that. And I had a good at High Point, I really did. And I guess like I believed in um, what the program was going to do moving forward. I always knew it was like going in the right direction. So I was like, nah, I'm going to stick here and kind of be a part of the program moving forward and hopefully be like an influential player that can do that, that can help push it in the right direction. And it worked out. I mean, I did make the draft, the MLS draft, but I'm still, playing in the US, playing pro and enjoying my football. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it did. I did think about it. I did think about transferring, but sometimes the grass isn't always greener. You know what I mean? I could transfer somewhere else, and the coach might not like me, or schoolwork might be too hard. I might not have like the academic support that I need. You know what I mean? You'd never really know.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it was a bit of a gamble. So I just decided not to.
No, that's smart. So obviously you're now at San Antonio. What were your thoughts going into the USL? Because obviously, like thinking of going to the US at first, you were thinking maybe the levels and whatnot. But what were your
Mhm.
thoughts going into the USL? Was it like this is going to be better, or like what were you
I
thinking?
wasn't too sure, to be honest. I didn't know what the level was going to be like. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because like you watch MLS on TV a few times, and you're like, oh, it's a decent standard, like pretty good. But you don't really know what the USL is going to be like. Um, but no, it's a pretty good standard. The USL. There's some good teams in the USL. Some good players as well. So I guess I was surprised at how the game was played. Like it was very well at San Antonio anyway. It was very like fast paced
yeah,
and like it wasn't much like tactical, I guess, like side to the game. It wasn't as much like kind of get behind the ball and organize, and it was just like a big game of basketball almost. It was like what I mean. It was like 5 attack, 5 defense. So it was like a big change from what I was used to,
yeah,
not what I was expecting. So yeah, I mean, San Antonio was not as successful as I wanted it to be. Like it didn't kind of work out for me. I learned a lot from it though. You know what I mean? Like it didn't work out well, but it gave me a chance to step back and kind of work on my game. And think, all right, well, why hasn't it worked out, and how can I make sure that next year that it does work out, and I can get game time and I can push on. So at the time it kind of sucked, but now I'm thinking, well, maybe that's what I needed.
yeah. No, for sure. If you could like give us an insight on some of the things you learned, what did you learn?
Um, I guess I knew what I wanted moving
Mm.
forward. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? I knew that I maybe made the decision to sign for San Antonio without really looking into it. You know what I mean? Like I understand now, like before jumping into things, like really like see what it's about. Like take time to look at the club as a whole,
yeah,
and like the style of football we play and what I mean. Like I sit down like with the manager and like figure out um, what I want from it as well. Like what's going to happen. So I learned that, and I also learned I guess like the style of football that suits me best, where I can like show my strengths the most.
yeah,
So yeah, I learned that from it, and also like going through adversity at the time. Like at San Antonio, I wasn't playing at all, so it was like really tough, and I had to deal with a little injury that I had, and I didn't really get back into the squad. So um, you can kind of crumble in those moments. You know what I mean? You can like feel sorry for yourself, and you can like stop training, and your attitude can be terrible. But you've just got to knuckle down and keep working. So I try to stay as professional as possible, and like turn up at training and still put it in. Looking at the bigger picture, like I was training at San Antonio. I knew I wasn't really gonna get in the 11 after I'd been like pushed out. So I was thinking like steps ahead. I was like, I'm gonna work now, improve my game. So then when the time comes next year, I'm ready. So
yeah,
I think that's what I learned most.
yeah, for sure. So now, obviously, moving over to your time now at I was about to say LA, Las Vegas. How is that like going now? Because you said at the beginning you're playing a lot more games, you're enjoying it more now. So yeah,
Yeah.
speak on that.
Um, just really enjoying my football. Yeah, I mean, like training like every day is so enjoyable. Like we turn up, we play small set of games, and it's like you're put in a position to be successful.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's the big thing for me. Like it's like even numbers in training, so we can just compete against each other and like show what you're about. So like training's really fun. It's a good group of guys. So and we're pretty close. It's a good like family unit, I guess. And yeah, like the games as well are coming thick and fast. So it's like you almost don't have time to like overthink it, or like
yeah,
they're coming like Wednesday, Saturday all the time. So I'm just kind of like playing like off the cuff and just kind of like doing my thing, and I'm getting more and more confident as the
yeah,
games go on. And I feel like I'm playing some of my best football right now. So it's good, man. I'm really enjoying the head coach here as well. Frank, like he's really cool. Like he's a good guy. Um, Great like man manager, and also like he just kind of doesn't overcomplicate things. Just lets us go and play. So yeah, we're doing all right now. We're doing fairly well. So we're hoping to make a push for the playoffs.
yeah. How is that structure? Because I was talking to Josh, and he was saying like there's so many games like and you're playing like certain teams like 3-4 times, like
Yeah, it's kind of weird because we've got Phoenix Rising.
yeah,
This tomorrow we play them tomorrow, and then we've got them again right after. So it's like it's weird to do that. Kind of it seems like a friendly game almost, like doesn't seem like a normal season. Well, it's not a normal season, but it kind of just feels weird.
yeah,
Um, but it's just strange because there's this like small group stage kind of set up. Like you're playing the same teams over and over again. Then you'll play like one or two that's like outside of your group. So we
yeah,
play Reno and we've also played Tacoma Defiance. So we played
oh,
2 games out of the conference, but it's better than nothing. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's nice that we can at least get out and play, and we're really thankful that we can get out and do what we love and compete. But it's again like no fans and all that. It's just
okay,
it seems a bit strange.
yeah,
But hopefully, fingers crossed, next season can get back to normal and get fans in and have a normal season.
Leroy, what are you taking?